All right, so today's Notes 3.6, Notes Day 1, you've got your student handout and your teacher handout. My teacher handout is loading currently. Um, we'll see that pop up in just a second. Click on the student handout, it's there, teacher handout here, and this is obviously going to be the video. So I guess I'm going to pause this until this loads up so you're not just sitting here watching me load it. All right, so it has loaded up, and here's what we're going to do. So this is going to be the method of sealed bids. So our conditions are as follow. Players must have their own money to play, kind of like a silent auction, if you can see the top part. So the players become buyers of items. Um, Now, players must accept money as a substitute for the item. That makes sense. It's essentially you're going to pay me for that item based on the bids. So the method is of bidding. Each player bids for each item honestly, done independently without knowledge of other bids. So we don't know what somebody else did. If you've ever bid on eBay, um, if I sell a baseball card and I put it up there, or say I'm the buyer of a baseball card and I wanted to buy this Mike Trout baseball card and my max bid is $10, $15, right? Well, I don't know what somebody else has bid until maybe I've put down that bid and they say, "Oh, sorry, you've been outbid." So I don't know what somebody else is bidding until later. So you must bid honestly on that item. Now, the allocation, this is each item will go to the highest bidder of that said item. So whoever was the highest bidder gets that item. Players must allocate more than one item. Ties are broken arbitrarily, random, or maybe a coin flip if there's a tiebreaker. So, first settlement. This would be after, um, you know, everything's done independently the first time we're done with the auction or whatever it is. So players either owe or are owed money based on the estate, by the estate, based on the items allocated. So after the bids are done, you're either given money from what you put up there, or you are owing money because you bid on something. So the goal is to make players have exactly the fair amount in physical items or cash. So the fair dollar share, or FDS, as you'll see, fair dollar share. This is an important bullet point. Here's some of our goals and how we achieve them. This is to add all or a player's bid together and divide by the total number of players. So 1/nth is the total value of all goods to a player. So the total value divided by the number of players. We are owed, or we get money, if the fair dollar share is greater than the value of the player's allocated items. Money needed to make the fair dollar share. So item is less than the fair dollar share. You get the difference. That's what you get owed. You owe, or you pay money if the fair dollar share is less than your value of the player's allocated items. So there's an excess. Basically, the item is greater than the fair dollar share. You pay the difference. Okay? So the division of surplus. Surplus money is divided out equally among all the players and then given to them. So surplus money equals total pay minus total money. Um, Makes sense. The division equals the surplus divided the number of players. And here our final settlement is the first settlement and the surplus money given to each player. So that's the final settlement there. So for example, one, we've got three heirs. We've got Andre, B, and Chad. And they must divide up the estate consisting of a house, a farm, and a painting. Paintings can be worth a lot of money. You might think that's silly, but some paintings are worth more than homes. So here are their bids. Andre thought he would bid $150,000 for the house, B 146,000, and then Chad 175,000 for the house. So it looks like Chad's got the highest bid there. Farm, 430 for Andre, 425 for B, and 428 for Chad. So it looks like Andre is the winner of the farm. The painting, 50 for Andre, 59 for B, and 57 for Chad. So B looks like she would win that that painting. Now, their fair dollar share for all three of them is close. We just added all of this together and divided by 3. So we took each one, and you can go to Desmos if we want. Let's go here. Let's go Desmos so you can see exactly how we get that number. And let's go to our scientific / scientific calculator. So we're going to add up all of Andre's. So 150, 123, plus 430, 123, plus, I don't remember what he said for the painting, 50, plus 50, 123, equals $63,000. But how many players were there, right? So 6,330 divided by 3 players is our 210,000 because there are 3 players. So this is players. So that's the fair share dollar amount there. So that's what he thinks everybody should kind of be valuing and getting the worth out of. Now the items allocated are, what did he win the bid on, right? Andre won the bid on the farm. B won the bid on the painting, and Chad won the bid on the house. So that's the items that they are allocated. That is the first allocation, the first settlement, right? So then we got to do the get divided by get paid. And the way that we do this is we do the fair dollar share minus items. So why would it be that he has to pay $220,000? Well, because he got $430,000 worth of the farm, right? And that's subtracted by, if we go back, the item, or the other way. What did he value at? 210 minus. So a negative 220,000 is the get or pay. So it looks like he's probably going to have to pay. For B, the get or pay, there's a surplus here, right? We get more money, 151,000. So how did I get that? Well, again, she had 50. What was her? Hers was 210, I think. 1, 2, 3. That's how much she valued, right? The fair dollar share. And then she only won the painting, which was 59,000. So $151,000 is how much extra, right, there was. Now for Chad, fair dollar share 220,000. His was more, minus the house he got 175,000. That means there's a surplus there, or he's going to get instead of pay. So Andre pays, B gets, Chad gets. So is there a surplus? Well, we're going to do each of these. The max fair dollar share, which again, if we go up there to surplus, is the surplus money equals the total pay minus the total get money. So what's the total pay? Well, because Andre is getting paid or paying in $220,000, we're going to take his 220 minus the get for B minus the get for Chad, and there's going to be $24,000 worth of a surplus. Again, Andre's get minus B's get minus Chad's get, because Andre has to pay. So he's giving that money into the pot, and then B and Chad are getting money back based on their fair dollar share minus what they got. And then there's going to be $24,000 left over. Well, we then divide that. The division of this is the surplus divided by the number of players. So every player is going to get $8,000. So what's the final settlement? Well, Andre gets the farm. He pays $220,000 and gets $8,000. So what about B? B gets the painting. She gets $151,000 and an extra $8,000. What about Chad? Chad gets the house. He gets $45,000 and an extra $8,000. Now, eventually, we can start to add this money back in together. So really, 53,000, 59,000, and then he has to pay, so much. Let's look at another example here. So for this example, we've got Zach, Wendy, Liam, and Charlotte's friend Tanner is moving out of town. I guess that needs to be capital, but it's okay. Is moving out of town and is planning to give away stuff from his apartment. Let's decide who will get what. Okay. Now, Again, this is just one way of division. Don't let it get called up. This is just one particular situation. So there's furniture, electronics, kitchen. Those are the three items. Okay. So Zach bids $2,200 on Tanner's furniture. Wendy bids 2,500. Liam 2,110. Charlotte 1,980. So the winner of this would be Wendy, right? Wendy gets the furniture. The electronics, Zach bids. So you can see where all the bids are. Kitchen bids fair dollar share. So what do they think their fair dollar share is? How did we get that again? For Zach, we add 2,200 plus he values electronics. His bid for that was 400 plus 2,800 for the kitchen. So that is the fair dollar share that his bids were, and then there are four players. So you divide by the four players there and get 1,350. That's Zach's fair dollar share. Notice that everybody's fair dollar share is different. So we have to get everybody's bid in. Now, when we decide to give them out, Zach gets the kitchen, whatever was in the kitchen, he gets the kitchen, which because he won that bid. That's $2,800 is what he paid. The furniture goes to Wendy, 2,500, which is what she paid. Liam gets nothing. He lost every single bid. And Charlotte gets the electronics, right? 520. So what about get and pay amount, right? Assuming Tanner doesn't really worry about it. So, because Tanner could have got all this money, but we're worrying about these four friends now distributing. He just gave them away. Now they distribute. So the fair dollar share, which is for Zach, 1,350, minus the item that he got. His item was worth more than his fair dollar share, so he's going to have to pay, right? Same thing for Wendy. She's going to have to pay. Liam gets money, and then so does Charlotte because their fair dollar share minus the item was less. So the surplus, is there a surplus? So we add the two amounts together that are paid in from Zach and Wendy. Then we subtract the two items that the people get paid, Liam and Charlotte get paid, they get the money from, and then we get 840. So that's the surplus. There's $840 of surplus. So then we divide that by four because there's four players, and 210 goes back to each player. So the final settlement for Zach is going to be the kitchen minus the money he's going to have to pay, comma, and then the extra money he gets in. Same thing for Wendy. You can see each of their final settlements. So there is one particular example. There's one more, and it's got a lot, and this is bigger numbers here. So we're going to work through it, at a decent pace here. Last example, example 3. The 3 players, Al, Ben, Cal, Don, or all the players, so it's 5 players, and Ed are all splitting up inheritance comprising a house, a vacation cottage, 2 cars, BMW and Saab, and a yacht, and 2 valuable paintings, a Miro and a Klee. These are very valuable paintings. The brothers agree beforehand that any ties for a high bid will be resolved with a coin toss. Perfect. Okay. Also ignore this homework at the bottom if you're working a little bit ahead of me. So here's each player's bid, each of the brothers' bids on each item. Going through and analyzing them, I've highlighted the ones who have won. Looks like Al's winning a lot.